Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Looks like we're going through a bit of a market shift here. Need to jump online with y'all. So, if you guys are online, yo, NORAD, antagonistic, you still here, buddy? Jamie. I don't know. I'm not liking this action here, Jamie. I don't know about this bounce at all. So maybe I'm just a little bit too bearish overall, but I've been a little hesitant calling this in bull, and I did a couple of days ago finally, but I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not too happy with all of this. Not too happy with this. Yeah, guys, so let me tell you what I'm seeing here. I actually I recorded my daily video about, was it 9 o'clock now, at about 6:30, so 2.5 hours ago, right when Ethereum was in this little channel. And in my video, what I mentioned was, we could be set to go down here underneath this trend line, the inverted head and shoulders neckline. And I said, we could get a bear trap under here, try to trap some people in before we go upwards. And then I said, or is this a bull trap, trapping people before we go down? So I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, and guys, I don't really feel comfortable giving you, say buy this here, say sell this here. You know what? This is where the market gets tricky. This is right here where the market gets tricky. I did move to cash, to be honest with you. I moved my positions to cash. Maybe that's a bad move, maybe it's not. But personally, I'm going into a 3-day weekend. I'm going to be camping tomorrow, midday on through Sunday. So I moved to cash. I don't want to be caught in any kind of crazy downside movements. I mean, you see what cryptos can do over the course of a weekend, right? We can have a 15%. We can have a 15% move down here pretty quick. But if you look at, so there's been a difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there still kind of remains one. Bitcoin looks a bit more bullish than Ethereum. If you look here, there's this consolidation that we were in a few days ago, and Ethereum never participated in the upward movement out of this consolidation. I mean, really, this had one upward movement, where Bitcoin had 2 upward movements, if you notice there. So a little bit more bearish in Ethereum than in Bitcoin. And as a matter of fact, even you can look at the volume signature right here. Bitcoin right here has a kind of a trend line there that we're basically, we came down to that trend line. The volume is pretty good here if this is supported. In Ethereum, however, we have a longer term trend line that has been broken quite significantly to the downside. And look at the volume on Ethereum. So the question you need to ask yourself, is, do you think that, are you sure this is a bull, or do you think this is a bear move? Because I'm not a big fan of divergences in the market. And this, Bitcoin looks okay here. Bitcoin looks okay. It looks like this could be a shakeout in Bitcoin. This volume isn't very high. We came down right to this trend line here. Even if you want to call this trend line right here, we still came down in a decent clip. But Ethereum just kind of came right down to it can't go any lower. I think it can't go any lower at this moment in time. It's oversold on real strength index at multiple time frames. Don't you think it's a good buy for a quick sell? Could go over how to look for buyer volume. Yeah, I'll show you how to do buyer volume. That part I can show you. I can't tell you whether you want to buy this or not. So this is what you're looking for. It's really easy to spot on lower time frames. Kind of look at the red versus the green and kind of see where they show up in the chart, right? So I'm going to get these thicker. Yeah, so what we have here is essentially a series of lower lows on increasingly higher volume until we end up with this bar right here, which ends all the way down here. It ends right there. And then we have a green bar pop up on lower volume, and then we have increasing volume again to the downside. That's a bullish bar. That's a bullish bar, but that's lower volume. And here we're starting to see a little bit of a bounce. So you want to see if we're going to get over this 289.54, the 290 level for any kind of concerned run. And yeah. Ian, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, usually during market times like this, you know me, I like to jump on the live stream. So it looks like we're getting, this bar is getting sold into a little bit. Kind of have to wait and see how these bars end up. Only 5 seconds left. This isn't looking like a great bar. First, you know, I actually jumped out of first. I don't like, if I have anticipation of a coin going up and it doesn't, I tend to get out of it. I don't hate the chart here, but at the same time, I really didn't love it. I really didn't love it. So I actually boned out. Yeah, I'm not loving the chart here. I'm not hating it either, but I'm not loving it. And we're seeing this sell-off in the market overall right now. So I pulled out a little bit ago, not too long ago. Not too long ago. I don't know exactly. What's going on with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's looking a little healthier than Ethereum. I will say that. Bitcoin, the sell-off hasn't been quite as abrupt as in Ethereum. It's also held at a higher level than Ethereum has, and it's barely touching this trend line. You can draw this trend line in a number of ways. This is a place to get you 3 touches, so that could be a very valid trend line. But Bitcoin could fail in another couple of hours. Who knows? Yeah, Korea banned ICOs. There's also here about Russia likely to ban Bitcoin payments, Deputy Finance Minister says. So, you know, we'll kind of see how that plays out. Yeah, so Korea banning, China banning. You know, we talked about China causing this sell-off here in Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we get some further action like that, some Korea banning, Russia banning, that could definitely take us lower. That could definitely take us lower. Maybe we get that Bitcoin 3000 test again. It's hard to really call it like that up here. All I can say is that you have a pretty big divergence between Ethereum and Bitcoin. There's a big change in behavior between the two. Ethereum was leading, and then Bitcoin kind of took over lately, and now it looks like Ethereum, if we go down, Ethereum's going to lead us to the downside. At the same point, if you guys recall in my last video, I said NEO is leading us now. Excuse me. NEO actually came all the way back down to my stop in NEO. NEO actually hit my stop. That's how I was triggered to this actual event. Did I say cryptos? I meant ICOs. I'm sorry if I said cryptos. That was a misspeak on my part. Cashed out when it started. There you go, Aviad. It's good to be on the defensive. I can't get mad at people for being on the defensive. So, you know, there's one thing to buy a dip. It's one thing to buy a dip. It's another thing to buy on extreme volume. That's some pretty extreme volume on Omisego. That is the biggest volume since the washout that we had on the Bitcoin 3000 move down here. That's been the biggest volume since the washout. So that's some serious volume. If it breaks lower than this bar, I would definitely cash out. You just got in, OMG? Well, I would give your stop point to the bottom of that bar. That's my personal opinion. Oh, you have a bot? Is ETH 260 a good buy? Well, if we get down to 260, it could be a spot, if nothing else, for a bounce. We have another, so we have lots of trend lines here. I'm a big fan of trend lines. You kind of get a feel for where things could be going. Yeah, if it gets down to, so this would be 270. Maybe there's a confluence between this trend line and 270. 260, we'll kind of have to see when we get to that level. Just so you guys know, I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow. I'll be out, probably out tomorrow, unless, yeah, pretty much out all 3 days. I have to get ready for a camping trip. That always takes like half a day. So, yeah, ETH is going up again, but you got to look at the volume, guys. You got to look at the volume. That's the key. That's the key. Where's the volume coming into play? So, where's the volume coming into play? Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I'll try to. Camping's always hard work. You know, Walt, everybody asks me about Walton coin. I can't pull a really good chart up of it. All I can do is go to coin market cap. All I can do is coin... Oh, it's market cap. All I can do here is go to coin market cap. Oh, come on. So I don't know what everyone's infatuation with Walton is. I really have no idea. What is the infatuation with Walton? Why are so many people infatuated with Walton coin? I don't understand. Yeah, you know, I'm really not a huge fan of line charts. I've never traded off of line charts, so bounce off 40, 60. Yeah, so yeah, the question is, are we in a bull trap or is this bear trap right now? That's the question right there. That's the question. Yeah, I did sell my Qtum. I did sell my Qtum. Yeah, like I said, I'm going on a 3-day long camping trip. I don't want to be holding over a 3-day weekend with some kind of crazy action. If it's a bull trap or a bear trap, it's a hell of a bear trap, I will say that. I mean, it definitely could be. It definitely could be. So it looks like Bitcoin's kind of come up to a level where it, let's see what it does here on this minute chart. We're kind of up towards these highs. Yeah, look, IOTA cash. Yeah, IOTA crashed way down pretty hard. Yeah, it is going back up again. It's just, you know, when these things have crazy moves like these, I a very hard time buying these kinds of dips. It's not a strong suit of mine. You know, I see crazy volume like this and then a little bit of volume taking us back up, and I don't necessarily see the, I guess I just don't see the value in it, just for me personally. You know, I know a lot of guys are pretty good dip buyers. I am not one of them. I don't buy dips extraordinarily well. Unless we're, like I said, unless we're in an uptrend, but yeah, you know, I mentioned bull go a couple of days ago. I've been like 90, 80, 90% bullish, but sometimes when we get that bullish that fast off of a big move like we had, it's a bit too much. And there's a possibility that we just saw the first crack in this egg. Yeah, so you know, Bitcoin's looking the best out of all of them, though. That's kind of a saving grace here. Bitcoin doesn't have as much downside volume as the other coins do. So you can see here there's kind of there's definitely more red than green. There's definitely more large red bars than large green bars. At the same moment in time, it's still a downside movement. And like I said earlier, Ethereum cracked on some pretty good. Let's go here. I like this chart's way better. Do you guys like the black charts or the red charts? What do you guys think? Like here's the black charts from Coinage. These are some damn sexy charts, I will say that. The bars are a little bit thicker. Do you guys like the black or do you guys like the white charts? Black. Check out Litecoin. Black. Yeah, I know. The only bad thing about the Coinage charts is I wish they had the same thing like a trading view. Like I could just list up a bunch of stuff. All right, I'll definitely try to use these black charts more. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the feedback on that. But yeah, like if you look at Ethereum here, look at the big volume it just had. I mean, it really makes all these green volume bars look like nothing. You have this big red volume, and then the run up here, you know, the volume looked pretty good, and you can't get mad at it until you see volume bars like that. Then you kind of get a little weird. Thank you. Yeah, TradingView does have black, but the whole screen doesn't go black. Like TradingView's black is kind of weird. Like you don't get the. I mean, I guess I could play around with it more. I'm sure that it has more settings. Here we go. Where's that? I'll do my background. Yeah, they do black. Yeah, but then I gotta play with all these bars and stuff, and I've done this a few times. What else? Scales, text, scale lines, watermark. Jacqueline Tran, how are you? You know what? Man, that's a very nice painting. Oh my goodness. Can you make a painting just like that of Trung looking at the screen with his mouth gaping wide open as we watch this go down? I think he'd like that. Yeah, see, but even this, the Coinage chart looks just, look at that. That's just a sexy chart right there. That's just a sexy chart. So Trung, I was looking at your screen when I said that I wasn't looking at mine, so she should be shocked. I'm looking right through your window. Sometimes I get confused if it's an uptrend of a rising wedge. What are you referring to about that, Sophie? Are you talking about? Let's go back to these nice Coinage charts. An uptrend of a rising wedge. I don't understand. Are you talking like this being a rising wedge? Because you could consider this a form of a rising wedge. I mean, I wouldn't blame you for that one bit. You know, you could look at that as a rising wedge. You could probably even draw another line here, which I think I had. That kind of looks like a channel. What are you referring to, a rising wedge? Are they got a whole theme setting? Where is that? Is that over here? Okay, now I'm just trying to play with these freaking charts. Oh, theme. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's not bad at all. Thanks, guys. That's not bad at all. That's pretty nice. Okay, I think that's my new favorite chart style. I really appreciate that. You know, thanks for joining us, Charles. That's a tough one, buddy. I mean, that's really a tough one. What I've been saying, you know, I got a lot of people say buy the dip, buy the dip. I'm just not so certain. I mean, maybe buy the dip. I don't know if now is buy the dip. I don't know if that's something I can personally do. Like look at this volume right here on this 2-hour chart. Look at that. Look at that. That's some kind of crazy volume. That's insane volume. You know, it's likely we go up then have another leg down more than we just go straight back up. I mean, everyone expects these things to go straight up into all-time highs. Guys, it was just last week we were going through this whole pattern right here. I mean, think about that, right? It was like literally this was 10 days ago. So this was like a week and a half ago we were going through all of this. And yeah, I think more likely we do something like this where we continue lower and go sideways. And maybe we go back up from then, but usually moves like this don't V bottom right out. How do I interpret volume? Usually pretty well. I usually interpret it pretty well. Now, the real answer to how do I interpret volume is the higher volume bars have more significance, and typically the higher the volume, the more the significance. Now, that being said, if you're at a high point and you have a significant volume event like we just did, that has a lot of significance. If you're kind of in the, if you're lower and you have a high volume bar, maybe that's a bottom. Like if you look, you're welcome, Sophie. Yeah, I actually, I'm assuming you're in Asia possibly if you're going to bed. I don't know where you are. Anton, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, Sophie, regarding the rising wedge thing. Like if you're talking about this being a rising wedge like that. That definitely could be a rising wedge, and this could be the break of that rising wedge. Oh, LA? Oh, okay, cool. Good, good, good. Yeah, I do a midday stream too, Sophie. Usually I start at sometime between 12 and 1 if you're able to catch that. As far as like if this is a rising wedge or if this is a, if you want to call this a rising wedge, or what was the other one that used another term? Let me scroll up here. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I meant to answer your question. It's a very, very good question. Uptrend. If it's an uptrend or a rising wedge, I'm assuming that's what you're calling it. So, yeah, typically, in this, so we have a downtrend. This definitely could be a rising wedge. If it is, this is the break of the rising wedge. Okay, that is definitely if this is a rising wedge. If it is a rising wedge, we're done. If it's a channel, we still could be done. If it's a shakeout, I'll kind of be shocked, to be honest with you. Usually, see, this is a much more healthy pattern. You see this pattern right here? This is a much more healthy pattern off of a bottom. And the reason I say that is after a long downward movement, I mean, this is quite a significant time frame before you confirm a bull. This is about, looks like this is about 2 to 3 weeks from the actual bottom to the actual bull. So here we've got 9:15 to 9:20. This is about 2 weeks. So it's a little just feels short. I don't know. Actually, Ian, we have 2 female viewers. Yeah, I don't know if she's here right now, but I've been talking with her the past couple of days. So we do have a couple. Carl's in LA. Hello, Carl. So my bearish, yeah, you know what? I've really been bearish ever since this top. I mean, even over here, I've really been forcing myself to call for a bull. But in cryptocurrencies, this is my first bear cycle in a cryptocurrency. So I need, this is my first experience going through this, and it's been an interesting one because the cycles just move so fast. They just move so fast. I've been looking for a big break like this to confirm if we're going down, so I'm kind of in the bear camp at this moment in time. Why, thank you. All right, Sophie, have a good night. Should be working, but I hear you, James. Believe it or not, I actually got a bit of a talking to at work today because I do a lot of crypto at work. Yeah, thanks, Carl. Node's a good buddy of mine. Yeah, I pump him on my channel too. He's one of the few guys that I follow. I've actually known him for about 4 or 5 years, and Node is very good. Node is very good as well. Yeah, I like Node. .com, hello. Yeah, so looks like we're getting a... Yeah, so Bitcoin's definitely been... Bitcoin's been leading us higher. It is not as bearish as Ethereum. Ethereum looks pretty bearish to me. Bitcoin, not so much. Bitcoin, not so much. A bunch of high-profile trading view posters mentioned when we were in the bearish market. It bounced up to 42, then a retrace back to 3,000. Yeah, I wonder if they were... maybe they were pulling a fib. Let's pull a fib. That's always fun. We can do that from time to time. Not my favorite thing, but, you know. So, right there, kind of your... there's your Fibonacci retracement back to the 61 area. Then, yeah, this could confirm us back the other way. I'm not a huge believer in fibs, but that's the only thing I could think of that they would literally pin that on. The 42 area would be some kind of a Fibonacci level. So, I could definitely see them saying that. Yeah, that makes sense. Carl, yeah, I actually had we went and hung out last Saturday, as a matter of fact. Litecoin. Yeah, click that like button, Aviad. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't hype my channel enough. Not a hype guy. Not a hype guy. Let's check out Litecoin, down 5%. Eek. Not liking that. Yeah, you know, I've been thinking lately about, you know, bull versus bear and in crypto generally. So yeah, we need a good shakeout. You know, it's actually been a while since we had a really good shakeout from these extreme lows over here. We really had this one event, and then it was just kind of smooth sailing. So I think people get complacent, people get a little bit lazy, and just assume we're back in bull mode. And you know, I did. I had my full position in, so I got caught up in that as well. Doesn't mean we don't go back up from here, but you just have to be on your toes, man. You just have to be on your toes. These things move very fast. So if you notice, we had that big spike downwards, and the volume on the bounce here has so far been a little benign. I'd like to see a lot more volume if we're just going to V up from this. Especially Litecoin. Ethereum, kind of the same. That's a pretty impressive down bar. The one thing I was saying about Ethereum, a lot of you guys are new here. I mentioned yeah, Carla. Yeah, he no, why would you guys on the same page as me? Ignore the TA haters. Yeah, I do ignore the TA haters. They don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them just don't. I don't know. They just don't take the time to get educated, I think. What would you say a good stop loss price would be for Bitcoin and Ethereum? Honestly, I think that depends on your entry more than just a general chart bias. Because, I mean, first of all, if you've been in Bitcoin since, let's start with Bitcoin. If you've been in Bitcoin since 2000, I don't think a stop loss here is going to do you much good. If you've been in Bitcoin since, if you've been holding Bitcoin since 4,000, you know, 4,400, 4,500, but if you just got in recently, you know, I would really consider a break of this trend line. We're going to be in trouble, I think, if we break that trend line. That's my opinion. If we do it on some good volume, it's going to be rough. I mean, so there's a possibility we can chant anywhere above this 3,500 line where this double bottom was put in place in Bitcoin. Any place here is fair game. I mean, really, any place here is fair game at this point. So you just have to ask yourself, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with that? So, and also another thing is, you know, a big move like this usually needs some time to wear off. You know, needs a little bit of time to wear off, and we just haven't had enough time yet. I just don't feel like we've had enough time. You don't get a big significant drop like this and V up, at least in my experience. Now, cryptos can kind of do that. I mean, you see right here, this completely negates what I'm saying. But it just doesn't feel like enough time has gone by. I can't explain it other than that, to be honest with you. I need to do a really deep count analysis on this move right here, because this is one thing about Bitcoin too. the longer Bitcoin has existed, it begins to act more and more normally like a really big stock would. That's one thing I've noticed. So if you go back in Bitcoin's history, it has these huge has a history of these huge moves. Where's 1200? Did I already pass 1200? Yeah. Get out to the 1 day. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, so Bitcoin has this history here of doing stuff like this, right? So, you know what? This is looking... Yeah, I wonder... who remembers my Bitcoin 1200 video? I don't want to scare the crap out of anyone. I'm not trying to be super bearish. I'm not trying to, you know, create FUD or anything like that. But there is a case, and I did it in my Bitcoin 1200 video, where we are going to go in a large correction mode similar to this. And the reason I did it is because I did see a lot of similarities in the moves between these two highs. So yeah, you know, I don't want to... I hate to keep bringing that up. I don't know. Not that we get back down to 1200, but even another move down to 3000, or even down here to this, you know, 1800. I think 2400 was another level that I mentioned. Yeah, right here, this little low. KBN is way over its worth. Well, I wasn't trying to convince people, Avenge. I really just want to give you something to think about. But at the same time, if you recall when we were discussing... Hold on, let me get to a better time frame. Yeah, if you recall, when we were over here and you said, you know, it's okay to trade again, I really meant that. I did mean it was okay to trade again. And it's still not looking too bad, I mean, but yeah, Ethereum's pretty bearish here. So when we said it was okay to trade again, you know, at some point you have to go with the market. Whatever chart that I see, I know I put it out there for you guys, but I want you to have it in the back of your mind, just to always know that this is not going to go straight up to 10,000 from here. I mean, that I can all but guarantee you. I mean, if this goes straight up to 10,000, I probably won't catch all of that move, because it's a lot, and it's very soon. I mean, keep in mind, we went from 1,200 up to 5,000. That's the last run. So 330% is something Bitcoin's done twice before. So the fact that this would curl up and go directly up another 100% just really seemed like a far fetch. Okay. Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to convince you guys of things. I really just try to put what I see in the charts out there. I'll definitely give advice if you guys ask me for specific things. I'll definitely answer your questions. I really try to do that for everybody. But at the same time, I just got to put out there what I see in the charts, because I know a lot of guys are just starting to read it. And you know, maybe you're looking at this really small time frame trying to make a trade, but you have to learn to zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture to really see what's happening. Because any micro move like this, like all these are micro moves, and all these are taken in the context of a larger move. Okay, when we're in a general uptrend, like boom, when we broke out from here at this 2,900 level, this really confirmed an uptrend, and any downward movement in this uptrend could definitely be bought until, you know, we were proven otherwise. And Bitcoin 5,000, I mean, pretty much everyone that's done charts and a lot of technical analysis really felt that Bitcoin 5,000 was kind of a top, which it ended up being. And the Korean companies the Korean companies getting banned to raise an ICO, not Korean citizens being able to participate in foreign ICOs. IOP, we can look at IOP. I like this computer way better than mine. I need to get a new computer. Ooh, up 3%. Yeah, IOP doesn't care too much about this breakdown, does it? IOP is turning out to be a pretty decently moving coin. I had a trend line drawn over this. I didn't have an alert set, so I completely missed it, but that's a really nice trend line on IOP. IOP tends to trade extraordinarily well. It really does. It really does. Yeah, long-term Bitcoin is still solid. No one's advocating that. But you know, what does long-term mean? Is it a month? Is it 6 months? Is it 6 years? Really, the time frame needs to be quantified. Yeah, it's a decent entry. I don't hate it either, but you know, you're in the middle of this consolidation. I don't like to buy in the middle of consolidations. I don't mind buying on a breakout, and I don't mind buying at the bottom, but I really don't like to buy in the middle. I mean, buying in the middle, you have really you're like a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. It's not a very good trade. There you go, Carl. There you go, Carl. Qtum and Ethereum Classic. Okay, Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic, we have two pretty big red bars on the 2-hour chart here. This one isn't too bad of a bar because it shows it closing in the middle of the range, which indicates some buying. This one shows quite a bit of selling, and we're 1.5 hours into this bar, and we're here, so extrapolate that up, and you kind of end up with volume up here, kind of equal with these. So we'll kind of see where we end up at this bar. Not too bad, but we'll just have to see what happens. And you mentioned Qtum. I don't think I did Qtum yet. Yeah, you know, I got out of my Qtum position. It ended up crashing back down below this trend line. I was not expecting that to happen. I wanted a consolidation and or a continuation. I didn't get that, so I bowed out of Qtum. But yeah, you look at these nice red bars here on Qtum, and it yeah, just not looking so hot. It really should have. It had the volume to go up. It had the volume. There's obviously some overhead supply in Qtum, so it looks like a little bit too much for it to overcome right now. Hey guys, bear with me. I'm going to get some water. I didn't get any water coming in here. I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, I got my water. Oh, you know, I forgot to mention the official name of the stream is now the Extreme Stream. So there you go. The Extreme Stream. Water is good. Oh, water is good. Yeah, Michael, I'm not arguing that Qtum has downside. I'm arguing that Qtum should already be aiming higher. So I tend to not, I don't buy anything because it's down. I don't buy anything because it's down. I'll buy more of something if it's breaking out of a very low area. Kind of like what we did with Neo, right? Where's Neo? That was right above Qtum. Kind of like we did with Neo. So it broke out of this low bottom on this nice base, and I bought right on that breakout, right? And so, I mean, that's a fantastic buy. So Qtum came to its trend line here, and instead of doing this and going up, it pulled back in right here. right down towards the low. So that's why I got out of it, because its behavior was not that of something that was going to appreciate in price, at least in the near-term future. Ethereum. Yeah, see, this movement in Ethereum is just not very good. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so we're consolidating. We're just kind of, we're still getting lower highs. This is still a lower high from this. Lower lows are still in place. Just kind of have to see where we end up, I guess. Dope's uptrend. Oh, someone mentioned, should I do Qtum on another exchange? I may, that maybe. We can look at that one. We can look at Qtum on that other chart. Apparently all I have is Bittrex on this specific one. Coin ones. I don't know if I can get coin one on this on TradingView. It didn't give me that as an option, so I'm going to assume I can't get that. So dope down 6%. I'm on the 1 minute or 15 minute. Let me go back out to the 2-hour chart. A little bit of perspective. Man, these spikes scare me. These spikes just freak me out. Yeah, anything that has movements like that. I mean, if you get caught up in one of these, I mean, that's a huge hit to your account if this just reverses on you and you know, you're not aware of it for whatever reason. That just freaks me out. I would avoid this coin just because of that, in my personal opinion. Again, just my personal opinion. Yeah, it is curling up nicely here, though. I will say that. It is curling up, but it doesn't have a history of running. It runs up and then just kind of craps out. So this doesn't trend very well. I'm just going to cancel this out of my charts. Yeah, I just don't like that. Yeah, not very pretty. I don't like to work for my money. I'm kind of lazy, so I like to have charts that look really good. I'm like, oh yeah, I should buy that, and then I buy it. That's kind of how I like to trade. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Banana coin. I don't think much on banana coin. This is TradingView right now. I'm on TradingView. Banana coin. Let's look at banana. I can't look at a banana. No bananas here, guys. No bananas here. Let's see if I can get bananas on CoinMarketCap. I can't get bananas on CoinMarketCap either, so I guess that's dead in the water. Don't think I can afford to search much more than that. Yeah, if it's not on TradingView and not on CoinMarketCap, I don't care. Yeah, if it's not ring banana coin. Yeah, you know, I'm more of a chart guy than I am an actual like ICO, know everything about the coin. I do my research. I do know quite a bit, but if something's not actively trading and I can't put money into it, it's just not something I have time to put effort into. Mango coin, very nice, very nice. I like mango coin. You guys like my smiley face on my chart? Look at my smiley face. I caught him blinking though. Yeah, you know, Lonnie, I saw Trump coin. That was hilarious. And Trump coin made a move after I saw it. I didn't put any money into it. I don't think I can even trade it, but yeah, Trump coin ended up going up after I noticed it for quite some time. It was pretty funny. Yeah, my little smiley. I like my smiley face here. So yeah, I find it interesting when Bitcoin and Ethereum diverge. It's really hard to get a beat on the market. Like when everything was crashing and they were moving in lockstep, it was really easy to kind of look at the charts and say, hey, yeah, we're going lower, because you kind of had a consensus in the market, and they were moving in tandem. And then we moved into this after this post this bottom area, and then Ethereum put this inverse head and shoulders in. And then Bitcoin put an actual head and shoulders in, like here, here, and here. And it never came to pass, but yeah, it's just very interesting. Noun coin? Let's do noun coin. I like it. So let's look what Bitcoin's doing here. So it looks like Bitcoin so far selling down, not liking this action still. Yeah, I didn't mind this bar. Look at this bar. So Bitcoin actually has been acting really nice. Look at the volume is very flat except for these pops. And the pops in Bitcoin have been really nice. Like I saw this pop and I was really getting convinced. That we're back into a bear market. This is a very nice volume pop. This is also a nice volume pop. Both of these are really convincing. But even this selling bar in Bitcoin here that we had the last 2 hours, while it by itself could be a bottom, to be honest with you, but just the fact that Ethereum's bar is so huge, like Ethereum's bar is just so much more massive than, it's almost double this bar. It's just almost double the highest green bar. So, not super enthused about it. ZRX. I've got it here somewhere. Alright, I'll type it in. ZR. Oh, no, I don't have this one in here. Entry into ARK. I will say this, don't fall in love with your coins, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fall in love with your coins. That's all I will say about that. Alright, let's check out ARK. As far as this coin, what is it? OX? What's it called? Yeah, OX. As far as OX is concerned, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Not my favorite coin. I don't overall like the volume action. I do like the fact that the volume's gotten a little flat. The action is still too choppy and wide for me, though. In order for this volume to get, I would like this volume even flatter, and then the price to be really flat as well. But we do have good volume on the upside. I mean, all in all, if all things being equal, this thing down here with this kind of low volume, this would not be bad for an entry right here, just due to the fact that the volume is so low and it came down in low volume. Not too bad, not too bad. So everyone's talking about ARK, so let's go ahead and check out some ARK. I need to find it first. I need to find it. ARK down 8%. So I talked about, someone mentioned ARK earlier in the live stream, and I mentioned you don't want to be involved with ARK until this trend line is broken. And yeah, it broke the trend line to the wrong side. So if you want to call it a double bottom down here and maybe take a trade off the double bottom, you do have a natural stop right here at the bottom of this prior low. So if you do want to take a trade on ARK, you know, that could be a thing. Hey Gerald, thanks for mentioning that. Yep, glad to see you guys here from Node Investor Channel. Node's awesome. I love Node. He's very good and very smart guy, and I like his videos a little better than I like my videos, to be honest with you. just in terms of like the production value. I don't know. We kind of do the same thing, but maybe I'm just biased because I don't like my voice. But yeah, thanks for showing up, Gerald. I appreciate it. If you guys do like what you see, hit subscribe. And I do live streams every day at about, I start sometime between noon and 1 Mountain Standard Time. That's my lunch at my work. So I do live streams every day just to kind of check in with everybody and see what's going on. So if you can catch those, love to see you guys in the Extreme Stream. That's the new official name of the channel, by the way. And yes, we can check out Navcoin. Navcoin. Where's my Navcoin? I've got it here somewhere. Navcoin, here we go. Down 12%. Man, all these things down 10, 12%. Really not very fun. Aviat, I know you like the Extreme Stream. Extreme Stream! Some guy said that at work. Some of those guys know that I'm streaming now, so they, some guy mentioned something about Extreme, and I'm like, hey, there you go, that's the new channel name. ETH looks like a huge M. Do you have any similar graph from past movements like that? So, M is not necessarily a pattern. There's a W pattern that I've seen is a valid pattern. If you see a W, it's a form of a double bottom. That can be a very valid pattern, especially on smaller time frames. A W on smaller time frames can be kind of a nice reversal. I haven't seen a W work too great on larger time frames. Those tend to turn into bigger channels than just a W. Hashtag Extreme Stream. I don't know why I think that's so hilarious. I just find it funny. Extreme Stream. Probably because there's like nothing extreme about this. It's just me talking about charts and chatting with you guys, so. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, Cash. Yeah, what's their symbol? Oh, this is their symbol. Okay. So we actually made a really good trade on OK Cash over here. We actually caught that in a live chat during lunchtime, and we bought OK Cash right here, and we wrote it up and sold up here. That was probably one of the better trades I've had in cryptos lately. Just happened to be there for that, and happened to catch. You know, with the 24/7 market, it's very different, very difficult to it's very difficult to just be up all the time. I mean, it's so hard to catch the good buys and the good sells. You really have to be spot on with your orders. And yeah, like I said, I'm a little lazy with my trading. I like to be there and make the decisions myself. I don't like to put hard stops in. As far as OK Cash and action here is horrible. This is horrible action. This is, yeah, this is not good. So I wouldn't even call this a consolidation, to be honest with you, especially for as long as this has gone on. This is a consolidation right here. This is a consolidation, okay? This is, if it does a move like this, this still is not a consolidation, okay? I would not consider that, if we're actually just talking terms, I wouldn't consider this a consolidation. This is just a flattening out and really declining volume. I'm not mad at declining volume at all. I think this is very bullish. And then when you see volume increasing, you can start to figure out where it's going to go. So coming over here, let's zoom out. So coming over here, volume's starting to flatten out. So I still wouldn't call this a consolidation, though. This is just a trend gone bad. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at the chart. Korea banned all of Neo and Ethereum ICOs. Oh, Neo too? Ugh, that guy can't catch a break. That sucks. Can you try saying it in very low voice like the movie trailers in a world in a world where the financial market is collapsing? A man is on a mission to save it. The Extreme Stream! You know, actually, you know what is funny? We were talking about the Extreme Stream today, and we came up with, oh, who did it? I got him. Oh, my buddy Sean. I was telling Sean about the Extreme Stream, and we talked about him doing a guitar riff for me. So we're gonna do like an intro to the Extreme Stream. So not extreme. Bitcoin to 36. If it goes to 36, I will be. If it goes to 36, I'll be back in the. Actually, if Bitcoin goes to 36, something's really wrong. So I don't know if I'll put any mind to it. Maybe I'll put $1,000 and just let it ride. Who knows? Who knows? Litecoin. Yeah. You know, those of you who've been kind of watching my streams for a while, you know, I do tend to jump on here during moments of, well, of actual extremes, no pun intended there. But yeah, I think I was live streaming during this drawdown. I think I was live streaming kind of somewhere in one of these. I try to catch kind of the downturns because I know people have questions or can kind of be a little scary. Extreme stream. I bought Ethereum at 280 and NEO at 26. So NEO at 280, you're about to be even again on that particular position, and NEO at 26. Yeah, it could be a decent buy in NEO. Let's check it out. Yeah, see, I'm not as bearish in NEO as I am in like Ethereum, just because NEO was already at these lows. So coming out of these lows, these don't have a lot further to go, unless we hit a really just extreme market situation. You know, NEO may not. I mean, it may come back down here to the 20 level at some point in time, but yeah, just keep your stops tight. I would keep your stops tight if they break down a lot below that level. I would definitely consider selling. But this right here is not bullish action to me, at least in my opinion right now. It's not looking like bottoming action. XVG. I've got them in here somewhere. That's Verge coin, right? That's lower. Verge coin is lower. Lower, lower, lower. Maybe I don't have it. XVG. I did have it. I just passed it. Up 5%. Boom, Verge. Wow, that's not bad at all right there. I'm not mad at that. Look at that volume. That's really nice. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Check that out. Okay, getting a little bit of consolidation here. So it looks like you have a high here of 69. High of 69. So a break over 69 here would be a good entry on this. Not bad. Yeah, I would give this until if it breaks over 69, because we're already in the middle of a red bar. So at least on the 15-minute, we do have this prior high that we stopped at, so we can just kind of see how that plays out. I mean, this is not my favorite overall pattern. This is I actually coined this with Node Investor. We call this the Ninja Star pattern. Mention that to him one day in chat and see if he laughs. This is kind of half of a Ninja Star. Ninja Star pattern goes sideways, pops up, comes way down, and then pops directly up and goes sideways. That's kind of a Ninja Star pattern. That always ends up badly. But this isn't quite a Ninja Star pattern. But yeah, I would definitely wait for it to bust over that 69 level. Pretty interesting, pretty interesting. Verge is on Binance now. Okay, so it's popping on an exchange listing. That makes sense. That makes sense. In which case, could be a Ninja Star and could go lower. Omise Go. Yeah, let's look at Omise Go. Yeah, so I think, oh, you know what? No, I mentioned Omise Go in my video that I never published. Yeah, so Omise Go had a 2,500% run since its ICO over here, right? That's a 2,500% run. they have yet to really consolidate that run. There has to be a big, a shakeout, a big consolidation, and we're right in the middle of that. We moved from very well-formed behavior in volume patterns to a very erratic price pattern. And anytime you get a change in behavior like that, you need to let things calm down before you just really, lean into it. So if you want to take it up here for a trade, I'm not mad at you if you guys want to trade it, but I would be putting core positions into a Mise Go. So, Dat Boy, you just said something extremely smart right there. And what you said was, I didn't get the bounce I was hoping for. If you're expecting a certain type of action in a coin, no matter what your strategy is, I don't care if you hate how I trade, I don't care if you love how I trade. If you expect a coin to do something and it doesn't do that, I think you need to back out of that trade. Basically because you're not going to behave well in that situation. Like if you expected this to bounce and it didn't bounce, but you're just kind of holding on to it because you have the coin, that can be a very expensive proposition, because you have doubt in your mind, and you may just let it flounder and sit out there when you're unsure about your position, and at that point in time you're a dangerous trader, at least in my mind. So I've heard a lot of other traders say that, and I found that myself as well. Like in Ethereum. In Ethereum here, I was expecting a break of this head and shoulders, which it did break up, and then I wanted to consolidate and go higher, and then when I saw today it came down and consolidated lower down here, I was not really expecting that. So the second I saw it break this neckline, I sold it. I mean, I was just out. I was just out because even though this could be a bear trap, there's still there's always a possibility this is a bear trap. I can always get back in. I can always get back into the coin. So that's the thing, right? Hey, you made $6. Awesome, even better. Even better. Yeah, I think I made a trade where I got stopped out of something and I made 22 cents. So, just a quick little reminder, if you guys like the video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed as of yet. I know you guys can't get enough of the extreme stream. Qdom, someone mentioned Qdom. Qdom looking pretty cute. Yeah, so I actually bought Qdom earlier today on the break of this trend line right here. We were watching it rise on this huge, look at this nice volume. Look at how nice this bar was. This was a really nice bar. Unfortunately, it was a one-off because it didn't continue upward, but I bought on this bar right here, and then we were in the green for a little while, and then it just caved in. It just didn't have the momentum to move forward. There's apparently more selling in Qdom to be done, and I'm not going to have my cash in a risky position where it's at risk. That's what I mean by risky. I don't want to have my money at risk in something that isn't appreciating in value and doing what I expect it to do. Hey, you guys are finally able to post news articles. Good. I've been trying to do that for a while. Looks good. Oh, I know what that means. Sorry, the page you currently requesting is not smooth. We're not getting a smooth page, guys. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. We want smooth pages here at Real Crypto. Unfortunately, we're not getting that today. Unfortunately. Yeah, so I recommend watching closely as well. If you still have a position here, I would have a stop loss in place, to be honest with you, and have a plan in case this goes lower. Where are you willing to let it go to before you get out? where is your stop loss going to be? If you still have positions, which I know most people still do, yeah, you just kind of have to you have to plan for every contingency, right? You have to expect moves to be faded. You have to expect trend lines to be tested. And this was a test. I was hoping it wouldn't break, but it did. But it, you know, it was tested for sure. ZRX, good to get in. We just looked at that, and I don't remember what I saw. So the thing that I do like about ZRX here, if the market gets more bearish, pretty much everything's going to go down. I think ZRX would be included. The good thing about ZRX is it's not participating volume-wise in the sell-off we've had here this evening. So that is a good thing. Also, this volume here is very nice on this upside coming out of this consolidation level. This volume is very nice. So it has that going for it. It has a pullback on lighter volume. See, the volume's pretty benign compared to all this green volume here. So I do like that about this coin. That is doing very well. So you're talking about ETH breaking 250. If ETH breaks lower, 250 would probably be 250 would be support for Ethereum. Yeah, I think so. You're gonna have a couple areas. You're gonna have a couple areas of support, right? You're gonna have this head and shoulders area, which would put you 252, 250 level. This is probably going to be more supportive, I would think, than this level, in my opinion, just because it was already tested twice. So yeah, I mean, I could see it getting back down to here. If it gets back down to here, this could be definitely a good level, I think, to get into. And I would probably get into it right here because you do have a natural stop. If it breaks lower than that, I mean, you know, you could be in trouble. But even if it shakes out and comes back up, you can have a buy stop in place at 250 again, just in case if it does break down. XRP next. Yeah, we haven't looked at XRP yet. Good call. I always look over Ripple. Yeah, Ripple had this huge run. Man, that's such a mammoth run that it had in just a short time. Really out of nowhere. We talked about Ripple looking pretty good up in here, and then it just exploded out of nowhere. I know I didn't catch it until it was like way up here. I didn't even see it. And yeah, we've come back down the volume. Looks like this is a support bar. Yeah, so this is a bit of a support bar here in Ripple, so I'm not mad at that bar. That's not a good bar. That is not a good bar at all, even though it's extremely low volume. Both of these bars right here, that's a, you know, just a very equal. That's a very equal. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where an up candle and a down candle have the bodies in almost identical positions, but the tails are almost identical in opposite directions, and the volume is next to nothing. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's quite amazing. I would almost equate this to like a doji in candlesticks. You guys familiar with dojis? I would almost equate this to a doji in candlesticks. But anyway, it did proceed lower here, and this, I don't like this volume. You have the same volume on a lot of coins. Bitcoin being the least aggressive sell-off, but still the second candle is pointing lower. We did come back up quite significantly, but now we're back towards, and we're resting down in this lower area here. So overall, not looking super happy. Thoughts on effects of China exchanges going offline Saturday? I think most of the money's been moved out of China already, so I don't think it'll have a huge effect. I think the news has already been priced in. I think I actually saw I think I saw it on Twitter. Someone said that there was a spike in Japanese exchanges where their volume increased by like 1,000%, and the China volume decreased by like 1,000%. So you essentially watched everybody move over to Chinese or Japanese exchanges. So I think most of that's already priced in. So let me go through some old, I think I missed a couple comments here, guys. Ian Terry, your ex-girlfriend said she was leaving because you weren't smooth. You know what? I'm not smooth either, buddy. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, David. It's hard to say what is it's hard to say what is a push down and what is an actual real sell off. Um, yeah, it's really hard to say. Holding on for dear life really depends on the personality type of the trader. Yeah, it really depends on the type of trader you are. Um, there's a lot of different styles of traders. Everybody's personality is different. So, you know, this is the thing, is if it gets pushed down to the point where someone's down 20, 30%, for some guys, that's a lot to hold on to, and they're going to panic sell down 20, 30%. Yeah, so I wouldn't be too crazy on the market cap thing, to be honest with you, because it doesn't take $2.5 billion to push down $2.5 billion in market cap. It probably only takes like 20 million, $30 million. Like, I don't know, I haven't run through the numbers, but yeah, so this isn't a panic sale situation up here. We're too high for a panic sale. The panic sale was the push down to 3,000. This is panic selling right here. This is definite panic selling. Selling up here isn't panic selling. It's just selling. This is just selling. And you know, this isn't, yeah. So you got to think about it too. Like, generally computers or I don't know, I can't tell you exactly how much is computer-based trading on this, but when everything sells at about the same time, there's probably some kind of an algorithm pushing something. So yeah, it could be news-based. They have bots that trade off of news and things like that. So I'm not saying sell everything and go cash. That's not what I'm saying. So, but you do have to be worried when you see a change, kind of a change in behavior. One bar does not a bear market make. At the same time, you should be looking at the market going, okay, let's see what you do next. Let's see what you do next. So, yeah, so, you know, so would you consider the drawdown from 5,000 to 3,000 FUD from China? Because that's a 20% drop right there. That's a drop that hurt some people. Yeah, I just know myself as a swing trader. For me personally, I'm not going to let my capital be down 20%. There's no way. Zero chance. Yeah, yeah, I know that they put out that ban. I understand that. But from a trader's perspective, yeah, so no one's saying you sell altcoins and never get back in again. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Okay, but if you're a trader, if you're in the market and you're trading, there's a lot of people actively trading, okay? And that's the guys that are holding for 7 years probably aren't even watching this live stream right now. Well, and I'm trying to help people not lose their ass, so. I actually don't use the MACD. I don't use the MACD. I don't hate against the MACD. It is one of the more valid indicators, actually. The MACD and the RSI, in my opinion, would be the two most valid. We can pull up a MACD and see what it says here. Yeah, so. But I generally don't use too many indicators. I'll occasionally pull up an RSI, but I mean, even that, I generally just look at price action more like. But yeah, I generally don't, I mean, I can use the MACD. I've used it in trading stocks. I played with it for a couple of years actually, and then I just found myself not looking at it. I found myself kind of getting annoyed with some of the false signals it would put out there, and then I would see something in the charts, and the MACD would be, you know, saying the opposite signal from what I was seeing. So I basically just kind of, eventually got rid of it. That's just for me though. Everyone trades differently. Some people like that extra confirmation, and I do too. Don't get me wrong. When I had signals line up with the MACD and the charts and the volume, it was really nice. Same with RSI, same with any indicator. But when the signals are getting mixed, but you're pretty sure a move's coming, it just gets weird. I don't know. So I put, like right now, like if you look at the MACD right now, you can kind of see we're up here over the 80 mark, so we're kind of in a overbought territory. You got the histogram here, or whatever this thing's called, pointing lower. You know, hasn't quite turned around yet. So you got a top right here. So, you know, it's useful. It's got its useful points, right? You know, you can view all of these signals, all of these. Yeah, I don't look at them a ton. My faith is in Bitcoin, the granddaddy, to lead the followers back, price and volume and news. Yeah, so that's the one thing though here that I've been said this a couple of times, more than a couple of times, but Bitcoin, you know, the Ethereum bar, this last bar on Ethereum, this is not a happy bar. Like, this is a bar that can cause you some damage right here. Look at the volume on this bar; it's quite significant. Quite significant. It basically broke all the way down to the bottom of this shoulder, so that could be a point of reversal, but it's just a lot of volume, and this next bar so far has been very benign. So, you know, if we get any kind of downward pressure, this thing could go further pretty quick. Bitcoin on the other hand, the volume bar, while still large, isn't as large as these green bars, so there's still more buying in Bitcoin. So we're still kind of seeing a divergence between Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's just kind of an interesting tale to be told. DeMark indicator? Don't know anything about it, nor do I care to be honest with you. I mean, the only indicators I would look at would be RSI, moving averages, and the MACD. Those would be the only ones I'd be interested in, personally. Bitcoin Gold. Oh, the Bitcoin Gold. Yeah, freebie again. Yeah, you know what? I would probably participate in that, to be honest with you. Have they announced a date for that? I know they were talking November or something. Have they actually given a date out for that? For the next hard fork? And someone mentioned Bitcoin Cash while I'm waiting to hear back from that response. So Bitcoin Cash, let's check it out here. Yeah, so they had, someone mentioned in the live stream, I think it was yesterday, regarding this kind of a symmetrical pattern, and then we wedged out of it. We were looking pretty good. We were looking pretty good up here. I wasn't too bad at the action right here. And then I like this. This was really nice. I don't so much like this. You know, big red bar, kind of back underneath. So I think this level right here, about the 460 area, I think this 460 is going to be, looks like that's some pretty decent resistance. Fear of missing, how did you handle that, crypto coin? Tell us how you dealt with that. I'm very interested, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well. Dash, yes. Eves, how you doing, buddy? I think you've been here before. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining us. Or is it just due to the fact that I'm doing a night stream again? Maybe that's why. Dash. Oh, lovely Dash, lovely Dash. Yeah, not very happy in Dash. So Dash actually was looking pretty strong. It was the first to break out from its long declining trend line here, and I pointed it out when that happened. Formed this big symmetrical triangle. Looks like it tried to break out, just never quite had the momentum. Pretty much failed, and now we have now Dash is kind of pointing lower. So not super. Why look at Bittrex? What do you mean, why look at Bittrex? This is Poloniex. I can never say that right. I don't know. I don't have a specific reason why I chose Poloniex. I'm not sure. Okay, November 1st for the hard fork. Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad at free money. If you remember when they forked with Bitcoin Cash, I mean, even if you're getting 20%, 10% out of that, I don't know how exactly that's going to work again, but it should be pretty interesting. So CryptoCoin Kiwi says, just he realized that what goes up dramatically must come down. That is true. That you don't get married to one coin, there's plenty to choose from. That is also true. So again, there's guys in here that are long-term holders. We just had a gentleman in the chat, at least I think it's a gentleman, David Cho, which I appreciate your input. I appreciate your input. Yeah, so there's guys that are long-term holders, and that's fantastic. I also would like to be a long-term holder, but if the market's in a downtrend, for me personally, I'm not going to let my capital stay at risk. But there's some of us that are traders, okay? And if you're traders, you have to understand that you can't get married to a coin when you're trading, okay? If you're trading, you can't get married to a coin because you can't have a really long-term perspective and trade effectively. It's impossible. Now, if you want to take a core position, stick it in a paper wallet and peg it to your wall, like I actually have 3 paper wallets pegged on my wall right now with some coins in them. Those are kind of some of my longer term holds. They're not huge amounts of my portfolio because I am more of an active trader. It's just not in my personality. But if it is, that's great. So take those coins, pin them to the wall, never look at them again. But if you're going to be trading and putting money to risk in the markets, I can't have the mentality of I'm just going to kind of hold through a 20% chop. I can't do that. Good point, David Cho. People will push down the price to get people out of Bitcoin before the hard fork. Yeah, did they do that last time? Is that something that you noticed? When was that last hard fork? That was August 1st, right? Let's go look at that, actually. So actually, August 1st was a few days before the breakout from 3,000, if I remember exactly. So let's go to the, yeah, no, we're fine here. So August 1st was, so right here, so this is August 1st on this bar right here. Thanks, James. My day's about to come to an end, buddy. I'm going to go to bed fairly soon. I got to get ready to go camping. So those of you just joining me, by the way, I will be out of town the next 3 days. I will be camping, pretty much out of pocket. I may have some cell signal, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing any trading. I probably won't be doing anything on YouTube. So we were talking about the last hard fork in Bitcoin. The last hard fork was it? I'm sorry, David Cho. David was saying that, you know, they may push it down before the next hard fork for Bitcoin. And I was saying that, okay, let's look back at the last hard fork. So the last hard fork was right here, right where my cursor is. Looks like it actually ran up into the hard fork and then broke down after the hard fork. So I'm more likely to see that we may do something like that, because typically if there's an asset run, people will, it's like dividends in the stock market. People always buy right before the dividend. They always buy right before the dividend. CNBC released the worst FUD earlier, saying that all virtual currencies would stop trading in Korea. Oh, did they say that? Nice. What charting software do I use? So this is tradingview.com. You can kind of see it in my URL bar. I also use Coinigy. I use Coinigy because of their alerts. Cup and handle forming daily on NEO USD. Yeah, that has been pointed out in the past. NEO does have kind of a very nice cup with handle forming. I haven't looked at it in context of its current drawdown. Ooh, NEO not looking too good here, guys. I don't like these red pointy down bars. Yeah, so this is a really nice cup. I really wouldn't like this handle to get much lower. I mean, I guess it could get down to the 2342 level where my cursor is here before we can start to get pretty Yeah, so we thought the same thing was happening with Ethereum, actually, like a really big cup with a handle, but the move down to the 200 just negated that handle. It just made it a drawdown. In terms of Neo here, yeah, it still could definitely be within a handle. I would love this to have held as a handle, and I was actually holding until this large move, and I actually sold my Neo at my stop. My stop got hit, actually, on Neo. So, yeah, could be a cup with handle. Just kind of have to wait to see. Time will tell. Take a look at BAT. I do have BAT in here. Wow, I read a lot of things since BAT. So BAT, looks like BAT is coming down to a support line right down here. A nice cup here in BAT. Mercury release coming out October 4th. Yeah, so a lot of news events, when all those news events happen, they're usually priced into the coin pretty much on the rumor. The actual release date, they generally don't do a whole lot. Yeah, so check this. So I'll just give you a quick explanation. So David asked a good question. Can you please explain how 200 to 300 million of self could result in 2.5 billion reduction in market cap? Absolutely, let's do that. 1,100 cryptocurrencies? When did that happen? Holy crap. Last time I checked, it was 866. Wow. 866 last time I saw this on CoinMarketCap. Okay, so let's take Bitcoin, right? 67. We'll just use one coin and we can use Bitcoin. So $67 billion market cap in Bitcoin in the last, she doesn't have a calculator on here. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this calculator up here. How can we do this and make this easy? How can we do this and make this easy? I'm going camping up towards Flagstaff, actually. A little bit west of Flagstaff, there's a lava tube cave. We go camping up by those lava tube caves. So keep in mind, anytime if someone sells one Bitcoin, and it makes Bitcoin go down by $1, okay? So let's just keep this easy. Let's say that you sell one Bitcoin, okay? And Bitcoin, if your sale makes Bitcoin go down by $1, okay? Your one Bitcoin just made the market cap of Bitcoin go down by $16.5 million. Does that make sense? So just by selling one Bitcoin that makes the price of Bitcoin go down by $1, you've just lowered the overall market cap of all 16.5 million coins by $1. So the market cap itself isn't reflective of how much dollars have been sold. It's reflective of the total value of the coins. Does that make sense? Hope I'm making sense there. Noun coin. Let's look at noun coin. I didn't even need a calculator to do that. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm happy with myself on that one. And that's what you get when you listen to the Extreme Stream. Noun coin. I can't pull it up. Is that a ICO? And CoinMarketCap doesn't even have it. Oh, yeah, our noun coin joke earlier. Yep, fair enough. Sorry, I took you too literally. All right, sorry. You caught me. What about the volume that is at 1.6 billion? So what about the volume that's at 1.6 billion? So if you take my example, right? If you take my example, that is a factual statement, right? So if your one Bitcoin So this is 24-hour volume. This is 24-hour volume. That doesn't mean that the market cap went down by 1.6 billion. That just means that's the total dollar volume of Bitcoin traded. That doesn't tell you that, you know, not all of that is downside volume. Some of that's upside volume too. So, you know, you kind of have to play with it like that. Yeah, what am I looking at here? So all I'm saying is that you don't have to have 2.5 billion sell to reduce the market cap by 2.5 billion. Like you could quite literally you could. Okay, so think of it this way. Here may be a good example. Oh, you freaking. There we go. So let's take Ethereum for an example. Okay, let's check this out. Let's use Ethereum as an example. We're talking about market cap and how market cap. I was on Bitfinex. Is it Bittrex? Ethereum. Oh, you're killing me, Ethereum. All right, come on. I'm looking for the spike crash. What that spike crash that happened in Ethereum? Yeah, Joel, maybe I didn't do that. I apologize. Maybe I didn't explain it in that nature. I thought he. Yeah, I guess I thought he understood that. Coinbase. Oh, GDAX. Yeah. What I was trying to say is that if you look at that GDAX. Yeah, here you go. So if you look at this spike in Ethereum, that where it went down to like, what was the low here? Like something ridiculous, like freaking 12 cents or something. That was like only a few trades, but this one spike all the way down here just caused the market cap of Ethereum to go down to next to nothing because of just a few coins, right? So that's kind of the example of, you know, how the market cap, even though it's down by 2.5 billion, it can get moved by one coin. Yeah, 10 cents. I've seen 10 cents, $11. Yeah, so that's how the market cap can be swayed. So, you know, I wouldn't put too much weight into market cap gain or loss in terms of a dollar amount. It's really not. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. All right, so Ethereum, 2 red bars in a row now. If you guys were recalling, we were looking at this 15-minute bars a little bit ago, and we had these green bars come in. Now we have these red bars come in, just really pushing us lower. Yeah, this is not looking super healthy here, guys. How did I get into trading? Good question. Kind of a, I don't know if it's a good story or not. You're welcome, David. And you know what, honestly, buddy, thank you for your input. You know, kind of conversations like this give everybody a chance to learn something, even if maybe they didn't know it. Maybe you just taught like 20 people something. So thank you. So actually, I got into trading. Well, I got into stocks at the age of like 17. I was just being a lazy ass kid sitting on the floor of my mom's apartment one day watching the television. Happened to come across CNBC. We are tent camping, and no, I have not been to Jerome. You asked me that earlier. I have not been to Jerome. Watching CNBC, and I watched the ticker go across the bottom. And I started putting together what the ticker meant, because there really wasn't Google back then, because I'm old. There wasn't Google back then, so I literally just sat there and stared at the television and figured, okay, MSFT meant Microsoft. That was the company name, and then there was obviously a dollar price, and then there was I think it was still an @ symbol or something like that, and then it gave a number, and I was trying to figure out what that number was, and then I figured out that it was the volume, how many shares were traded. I just kind of figured it out, and then I did some quick napkin math, and I'm like, holy shit, that stock just traded like $50 million in one trade, and I was like instantly hooked. I was instantly hooked. I was just fascinated how that much money could be transferred in one transaction. And then I just kind of started to watch CNBC, and I started to get the lingo, started to get educated. Then when the internet came along, and you could really trade, and I got a job, and I got some money, then I just kind of got into it. Lost a shitload of money after I sold my house, and then got educated. Lost more money, and then lost money again. You know, there's something called tuition. You either pay it in college, you pay it in trading losses, you pay it somewhere in life, and I paid mine a long time ago. All right, so that's my story of how I got into trading. I hope I didn't bore too many people with that. Yeah, so Raymond, I have it. My main fund is in GDAX. What pisses me off about GDAX, I do like the fact that you can trade for free, but man, if you try to trade breakouts like I trade, it's really hard to get in. It's really hard to get in. I've like literally sat there moving my stop up, and unless I write a script to do that for me, it's just unless I'm really quick with the mouse and you have to click all over the screen, it's a pain in the ass. So it's, you know, a pain in the butt. Theoretically, I haven't lost anything until I sell. So that's a very interesting statement. So let me say this. In cryptocurrencies, I think the hodling movement is a pretty good movement. I'll be honest with you. I think it's pretty good. There's long-term viability in these coins. Even if Bitcoin 1200 becomes a reality, if you're going to hold forever, you'll eventually get that money back. It's not the same in the stock market, folks. It's not the same in the stock market. So yeah, Aviat, I'm actually kind of working on building a bot, not for that specific circumstance, although I probably could build one for that specific circumstance. We're kind of building one for signals and alerts. Did you lose more than I will by hating Bitcoin? I probably lost more money than most people in here. Probably most of you combined. But that was all in the stock market. That wasn't in cryptocurrencies. But whatever, a loss is a loss is a loss. You know, I'll be honest with you, most of my losses, I didn't even learn that much from them. I didn't even know enough to learn my lesson. I would say most of my education came with 10% of my losses. I lost a lot of money really early, and I just didn't know anything. JJW, I don't see what you said earlier. I scrolled up a bit there. I didn't see anything. On risk management and exposure, will I do a series on risk management and exposure? It's been on my mind. Yeah, it's been on my mind. I haven't... Yeah, you know what? When I get back from camping, I've got a few things to do at work, but I really need to do my... I've got a course that I'm putting together. I already have a course together for the stock market. I have the intro, which is about, I don't know how many hours of video it is, 7 or 8 or 9 hours of video on my introduction to stock trading video. Most of it will correlate well to cryptocurrencies, so I may hijack some of those videos, but I'm going to do a trading series that pretty much covers the gamut. It will go into position sizing. It will go into all that stuff, so... Yeah, time exposure, stop losses, those are all very valid things. You need to know those. You need to have that. You need to know how to do that because, but it really depends on your time frame. So my exposure, my time frame may be very different. Like, you know, David Cho there, if he's a hodler, he's going to look at my videos and think I'm an idiot, right? So is the guy that wants to trade, you know, for $1 pops. So, but anyway, you know, generally my audience, I think that they try to go for trends. Same way Node Investor and I do. We're both trend traders. That's just who we are. And you know, so we try to pick these trends up. So, you know, we bought here off the break of the head and shoulders, or inverted head and shoulders, and it came up and it came down and it break under here, so I'm out. You know, my trend has been nullified. I'm out. That trend's done. You know, so that's kind of what a trend trader would do, and that's kind of what I'm gonna go over in the video. Even over the live stream, I really can't go over everything. I really need to lay down and disseminate every aspect of trading, and then go through like an actual trade, right? Then go through an actual trade. But even doing that, there's just so much to be learned with real money exposure. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Good. Bow slice, more money than at the beginning of the week. That's good. I don't know if I can say the same. Actually, yeah, I think I got more money than at the beginning of the week. Yeah, but I think I gained a little bit. I was up quite a bit. I got a little bit greedy. I got to be honest with you guys. I got a little bit greedy in my NEO and my pay trades. I traded these extraordinarily well on the buy side, but on the sell side, I didn't pay attention to my greed. You know, I bought really well. I should have taken profit somewhere up here. I thought about it, like when NEO was just sitting here when it broke out of this high and had this little, just this little. See if I can get you guys a better view there. It was sitting up here. I'm like, man, I should probably take some profits up here. This is looking pretty good, and then it just fell apart. And then we had this. I held all the way down through. I saw this rally up here. I was perfectly fine holding through that, and then we just sold off, and my stop got hit, and I just screwed up. So, how much money did I lose back then? So all in all, through my whole trading career, I've lost about $100,000. So lost about 100 grand. In the past few years, though, I have not had a losing year. So yeah, so actually I sold my house and put 50,000 in the stock market and lost it in 3 months. Lost it in 3 months. Thought I knew about trend trading. Thought I knew about. I didn't know crap. I didn't know anything. It was so bad. It was just so bad. And then, you know, I proceeded with that same style of trading for quite a while. Lost another stake of 20,000. Lost another stake of 20,000. And actually, a buddy of mine gave me some money, which made up the other 10. And then since then, since I got done doing that, I actually stopped trading for about a year. Then I got back into it, had some more money, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make the same stupid mistakes I've done 3 and 4 times already. And yeah, so I got back into the market, and just started actually trading pretty well. I started trading pretty good. Had a few winners, had a few losers, and then I started getting flat, and then I started making money. And you know, it's not hand and fist over money, but you know, enough money to make my Roth IRA, you know, pretty good at this point. How did I lose? Big losses or too many losses? All of the above, man. Really, all of the above. I think more too many losses. My biggest loss was $9,000 overall. I think it was my biggest ever loss, and at that time, my account was like 25,000. So I think that was my biggest loss, percentage-wise and dollar-wise. Mostly it was just tremendously over trading. I mean tremendously over trading. I would, man, when I think back then, it was just a lot of over trading. So someone mentioned ZEC pump and dump. Actually, I think I had ZEC up here. Nope, I don't have it up here. Stop down up there. Kraken. Wow, there's lots of ZEC. Are you talking about Zcash ZEC? Because apparently... Oh, there we go. Bittrex, Bitfinex. Velvet, hello. Is this the Zcash you're referring to? You know, Andy, you know, I've noticed I can do that. I just haven't. Yeah, I should. It's a nice shortcut. I do that on accident sometimes. I just haven't really really done it all the time. Jorge Batista, what's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Watching at 290 and it pumped up to 450 and I dumped all the way back down. What are you referring to there, Joel? Which one? Oh, the ZEC? Nope. Not a good time to buy Zcash. Not in my opinion. So if you're new to my channel, Velvet, if you haven't subscribed yet or seen a few of my videos, what I like to do is I like to buy I like to buy in a situation where something's moved up and consolidated, and then we look for an upward movement. We're not looking at that because of this. Someone mentioned Zcash, so we're looking at it, but that's why we have it up here. So you heard China or Korea's banning ICOs, but you heard it was a false story. Well, let's do some Googling. Korea banning ICO. Let's see what we get. So Reuters, that's a pretty good news source. Korea bans money through ICOs. Korea's financial regulator on Friday said it will ban raising money through all forms of virtual currencies, a move that follows similar restrictions. So I don't think it's fake news. I mean, Reuters typically wouldn't. Reuters is a pretty well-respected news source. Stern penalties will be issued on financial institutions. Let's see what else is going on here. The decision to ban ICOs as a fundraising tool is made as the government sees such issues as increasing the risk in financial scams. Decision tracks announcements in the U.S. and China. It added Friday's announcement doesn't mean the government has implicitly accepted trading of virtual currencies as part of its financial system and will monitor to see additional regulations. So, interesting. That's a pretty interesting paragraph right there. It added Friday's announcement doesn't mean the government has implicitly accepted trading of virtual currencies as part of its financial system. We'll continue to monitor markets to see additional regulations as needed. Interesting. Yeah, I actually do agree a lot of the ICOs are scams. Regulators on a statement. Well, I don't know how they can stop people from participating in ICOs outside of the country. So, but I mean, the China ban's domestic, so I would think the South Korea ban would be domestic as well. Yeah, it looks like it's a real news event. Looks like it's a real news event. I like this dark chart on there, so thank you guys for mentioning that. Oh, okay. So JGW has the official document. It says that Korean citizens are allowed to participate in foreign ICOs, but basically it looks like that companies can't ICO. Is that what you're saying? Is that what that document says? It says that companies can't ICO in South Korea, but they can go to North Korea and ICO if they wanted to, obviously, right? How would a coin start without an ICO mining only? So yeah, I think that would be a thing. I think, you know, if you think of like Bitcoin just started, it just mined it, right? You just mined it. So I think an ICO is just a way to get quick money. I mean, really, it's an IPO in the stock market. It's an ICO. It's quick money. It's yeah, Kim coin. There you go. Let's pump that one, guys. Pump the Kim coin. Oh, this is doing that again. I got it. Oh no, we started a new 15-minute bar here. Is this like the .com crash? No. I don't think it's like the .com crash. Although it could be a crash. You never know. You never know until it's over. Everything's 2020 in hindsight. Was I affected by the great financial crisis of 2008? I was in cash. I was in cash during 2008. So I was not affected. I keep hearing that, Carl. I keep hearing that, but I do not have the Brave browser. I could try to install it while you guys are watching, but I don't really care that much. In all honesty, they got to make money, and I'm not paying for the platform, so I don't mind if they pop an ad up at me from time to time. That's funny, Joel. That's funny. Heavily development of CFDs. Oh, that's crazy. What's Bitcoin doing here? Yeah, they all have these low patterns, so not looking super healthy here. Yeah, generally not liking this action, guys. You know, there may be a buy the dip scenario. I don't think it's this dip. It looks like we're going to get another measured move. If you guys remember, I don't know how many of you have been here since when we had the downturn in the market. You know, we did a lot of measured moves. Hopefully, you guys learned something from that charting. You know, so a measured move would take us right down to the bottom of this head and shoulders, which is kind of like right where we said this would be a pretty good place to maybe place an order for a potential buy. That being said, yes, I don't know, man. I can't say it's. This is some really good volume right here. This is really good volume. Let's kind of look at the volume that happened on the 15 minutes. Go to the 2-hour chart. Yeah, so when we first started to break down, this is the same type of volume we had. And then we had the same, you know, possibly have a similar pattern. Doesn't look like, Going up on low volume. Interesting, interesting. Neo, let's look at Neo. What do I think about Neo? I think Neo doesn't look fantastic. Does not look fantastic here. Not my favorite. So none of us actually, there was no news event. So if you remember Pay had a big run up as well at the same time that Neo did. And the Pay actually had a fundamental reason for the run up. It was actually exposure to Visa. They got approved with a Visa partner right here, and then they started to run up. Neo never quite had that kind of a fundamental news announcement, so I think it just broke out on just because. But Neo overall, you know, someone mentioned earlier that it could have a cup with handle right here. That is true. That could be a cup with handle. Only time will tell. But even the thing with the cup with handle, you know, you don't buy anything until it breaks the pattern. That's the key, right? You don't break anything until you break the pattern. That's just trading. Bought ETH at 302 but held through the rise and fall. Which side of 302 have you been on, Rolendo? And welcome to the live stream. Glad you can catch it live. I'm not going to be going for too much longer. I do have to get to bed, so. Yeah, Roy. One thing you're going to find out if you guys caught my video on is Bitcoin in a bubble. If you guys caught that video, is Bitcoin in a bubble? And I talk quite a bit in there. There's a couple slides dedicated to Wall Street and dedicated to their FUD, Wall Street's FUD. Wall Street's just trying to get everyone's coins. Well, Velvet, that is a prediction. That is definitely a prediction. So you guys are referring to Bitcoin. So yeah, a couple of guys. 3,600 is a V bottom. You talking about this V bottom right here? Are you referring to this V bottom, Andy? Talking about this cut right there. Bo Slice, you're welcome. Go to bed. 2 a.m. is too late. You gotta sleep, guys. You gotta sleep. Otherwise, you're gonna make bad. So I made a really bad trading decision the other day. It was like my 4th night of 5 hours sleep in a row because of crypto, and I was actually trading my options in my Roth IRA, and yeah, I made a pretty snap emotional decision that I shouldn't have. Anyway, I wasn't hurt too bad by it, but it hurt me. So definitely you guys need to get your sleep. You guys need to get your sleep. Melbourne, huh? Well, thank you for catching the stream from the other side of the globe. Appreciate that. Internet of People. You know that, we looked at that a lot earlier in the live stream, and that thing was the only thing holding up here. Is that thing popping? Let's go to the 15-minute chart. There we go. IOP. Oh man, if IOP pops over these levels, guys, it is on. I may stay up for this. Okay, let me break this back out now. Let me see what's going on here. Get some perspective. I don't want that. So here's a pretty decent little cup with handle and IOP right here. And IOP's been a coin. Yeah, so IOP is really interesting. If you go to the daily, this thing has been extraordinarily, like, just much higher than this. Like, look at this, it's been up $12. I mean, it's been up at $12, really went flat, and then boom, just exploded out of nowhere. So when you guys talk about, these coins at low levels like this, like it had to move, it came down, and it looks like right here, this is what I think about. I think about a coin doing nothing for like 6 months. So, anywho. But yeah, this looks pretty interesting right here. If it actually moves, yeah, this is a small enough cap coin. It looks like, yeah, I just didn't care about that move at all. It's kind of a lot of fun. Sleep is important, but you could have a buy stop, you could have a sell stop. I don't know. Or you could just put a little bit of your account in and take a trade on it. Yeah, I think so we had this really large 500% gain right here. This was even like 125% right here. So I don't think if we run out of here, maybe we get like 50%. I don't know, but even then, yeah. See, that's only 37 to those highs of recent. So IOP, IOP, hi baby. So, yeah, first blood. I got caught on that one too. Did you? Hope your loss wasn't too big on that one. Mine wasn't too bad. I did end up taking a loss though. Didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Yeah, now it's crashing a little further. Yeah. Yeah, it had a nice little pop here. Looked like it was going to do something, and then I gave it plenty of time. It just didn't. So, you know, that's trading, right? You have to trade your signals, and you cut your losses short. So next time you have a 3 to 5% loss, so you can have a 20-30% gainer, and over the year it turns into something. Yeah, I know I can type it up, but I don't know. So let's do that. Let's do BTC. Yeah, but then I got to click over here and figure out what it is. So yeah, I'll just go to it on my chart here. It's cool. Man, Diamond holding up really well from that consolidation, from that big run-up it had the other day. Man, right out of this cup with handle, boom, 35%. You're still up 28%. That's quite a treat there. Yeah, Ian, that's kind of that's the trick is, generally doing this kind of trading, you're going to have more losses than you will gains. But the hope is that you have learned to take small losses so you can have large gains, okay? So that's generally how trading works. Very, very few people, if any, actually have, 80% win ratio, 90% win ratio. They kind of a lot of those guys are scammers. The guys that do have that kind of win ratio aren't doing YouTube videos. They're not doing YouTube videos. I mean, they're out in the Caribbean with their billions of dollars. If you've got an 80% win ratio, that's insane. Oh, Bitrix is blocked at work? That sucks. That's not fun at all. Alright guys, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get ready for a big day tomorrow, getting ready for camping and such. I don't know much about BitConnect, to be honest with you, so I don't know. My trading bot will be I don't know. It's a lot of work, guys. Writing a trading bot is a ton of work. I put a lot of work into my. I've actually have a bot written on paper for stocks, but it's not for cryptos. I don't think it'll quite work. What price levels Bitcoin can go down to? I mean, it can go down a lot. It can go down a lot. It's hard to say. I mean, look, this could be a bear trap. This could just be a short-term sell-off. Oh, okay, you guys work in Phoenix, awesome. There's a couple of guys that are in the valley, so yeah, I wouldn't mind getting up. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. So I don't like to give price predictions in terms of that. I mean, there's a pretty solid support here at 3,500. It's been tested 1, 2, 3 times here. So 35 is pretty solid support for Bitcoin. There's some support here. There's some support here. There's like 5 levels it can go to. So it's pretty difficult to do that. So yeah, guys in Phoenix, I'll put maybe I'll put a meetup group together or something, and we can all meet up. Maybe the guys, maybe Node, you and I, we can all get together. We can have like 20 people or so. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be kind of fun. So yeah, if you guys want to shoot me a direct message through the channel there, that's cool. If you want to do that, if you guys are in the Phoenix area, we can put something together, and yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Jump off the live stream. It's been a fun 2 hours. Thank you for joining the Extreme Stream. And wow, Andrew, tons of people. You're not Andrew Farr, are you? Yeah, Node's a great guy. I'm sure he'd be interested in getting together with some people, but that dude is super busy. Not Andrew Farr? I work with an Andrew Farr. I thought it'd be funny if you were Andrew. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, guys, all right, I'm getting out of here. I did go cash with my positions. Like I said, I'm going on a camping trip. I did get cash with my positions. I may look at it at some point. I think I'll have some cell service. So we'll kind of see where we end up yet. What do you mean entry points, Frederick? What do you mean entry points? Like on, I mean, everything's pretty much red at this point. Except someone did point out that IOP looks like it may want to do something. So IOP may be good for a trade if you want to be active, but I know you're working, buddy. So, all right, Frederick, I'll hit you up in Hangouts there. We can talk if you got a question. All right, guys, have a good night. I will see you later.